So, it has been a hot minute since I've done this, but the volume extras are out for My Hero Academia Volume 41, and I'm here to go over all the things that you may have missed or not known of when the volume comes out in America proper. So, let's go into everything that has been released and see what Horikoshi has to say about the penultimate chapter for My Hero Academia. Hey guys, how's it going? It is your boy, Manga Andrew, and I'm here to, as I said, cover the volume extras for My Hero Academia Volume 41. And there is a fair amount that I want to cover in this volume. We don't get anything substantially world-breaking for this volume, but we do get a fair amount of just fun things that really just emphasize that the series has reached its penultimate volume, and the next volume, which will be coming out in December, will probably have a little bit more to talk about. But that does not mean that there isn't anything in this volume to talk about, so let's just dive right into it and see what's going on. So let's talk about the volume cover for this volume, because it looks amazing. We have Deku and Tomura Shigaraki coming in with their hands clasped for what we are assuming is their final confrontation in the series if you haven't been caught up on the manga. And it looks like it's amazingly drawn. I love how it looks amazing. As well as we have the back cover, which actually shows Nana on the back, so that's also cool as well, and she looks beautiful as well. And from there, we also do have the table of contents, where we see that this volume is going to be covering chapters 411 all the way up to 422. Which that is the final chapter where we actually see Deku and Tomura actually clash, or in that instance, most likely all for one. And something else that I want to bring up is that apparently for chapter 418, it has been renamed. It used to be Meek Spirits, but that was already chapter 383, so now it's titled From Midoriya to Shimura, which is very important because that is probably going to encompass more of what that chapter is about than just Meek Spirits. And from there, what I see is that there is not that much extra content, unfortunately. We do get to see a few cool sketches of both Shinomori as well as In. When it comes to the vestiges of One for All, we get to see them very much sketched out in a beautiful fashion. But we also get to see a nice, just artistic render of both Tenko, Tomura, and Deku as kids standing right next to each other under a tree, which also looks cool. As well as we do have a sketch of Deku where we do have Horikoshi saying that he's informing the readers of the 9th popularity poll results and that they are in this volume and that he's apologizing for the counting error. But with that, we do have a few other sketches where we get to see Deku with his full cowling X across his face without like the mask like blocking his nose. As well as we're most likely getting like some initial sketches of Deku going full Black Whip mode when it comes to Black Whip like encompassing his body, and how he looks a lot more monstrous in this scene than he might have actually looked in the manga itself. So it's cool that we really got to see a little bit more of that in this volume. And that's a few more things that I really want to go over that are not this big spectacular thing, but some comments that Horikoshi also made in the volume. One of them is very interesting, where we get a volume 41 transition page between the end of chapter 417 and the beginning of chapter 418. And from what we see, it seems as if like the world itself is beginning to crumble and turn into pieces, and how these seem to be the very similar pieces that we're seeing here as we see Tomura beginning to decay and fade away, as well as potentially what we see in the final parts of the final chapter. And we get it in more fuller detail, but we also do get to see something else that I didn't bring up. It's like a cool sketch of just both Tenko and young Midoriya just drinking drinks together, just really looking adorable. And finally, among the final volume extras, we do have a page where we have Horikoshi saying that in that scene, I realized I had been drawing while holding my breath. I don't often do this. How scary, scary stuff. And this scene is actually in relationship to most likely Horikoshi drawing the scene where Deku comes to the realization that he has to give up One for All. So yeah, a lot of what we get in this volume is just really pretty much Horikoshi just reflecting on what is going to be in the volume and reflecting on how he has gotten to the final fight of the series, as well as getting more towards the end of the volume where we get to see a little bit more of the back cover itself, which we also get to see both present Mike as well as Aizawa, as well as we get some messages from both Horikoshi himself, as well as seeing a very well drawn image of All for One. Also, something else that I forgot to bring up is that we also get to see All for One on the spine of the volume. So that's cool. And what we have is Kohei Horikoshi saying, "Thank you for buying volume 41. Next volume will be the final one. I'll do my best until the very end, just like Deku and his friends." And the page with All for One says, "Next volume. I'll be in this page again, just like in this volume. Mark my words. Look forward to it." So yeah, all of that is pretty much what we're going to be getting within the volume itself, as well as the final page where we get to see all of Horikoshi's just artists and assistants just drawn as specific characters. We get to see a lot of them are just probably the most popular female characters within the series: Momo, Nejire, Shimage, Kami, Mina, Stars and Stripes, Mount Lady, Burnin, Mirko. So it's cool that we get to see all of them drawn as amazing looking characters in the shape of 41. Also, just getting to see how many assistants Horikoshi actually has. But yeah, that would typically be the end of this video, but something else that I wanted to add that I didn't really add to the other volume extra videos is going over the new and added pages that were not in the weekly release. I want to say that there were a few changes that were made to the end of chapter 422, the last 5 pages in the volume. And as you can see, hopefully on the screen, we see that there are a few more added pages, as well as some changes to the actual layout in comparison to what we saw in the actual weekly release. And we kind of got hinted to that with the addition of transition pages in between chapters. But the one that I really want to make notice of is the final scene of chapter 422, where we get to see a smash when we see that Deku smashes into All for One in this scene. And it gives pretty much credence to what will be most likely within the final volume, because Horikoshi has from volume to volume been adding small flourishes to the chapters, and we can probably expect a little bit more added to volume 42, hopefully. Also, when it comes to some changes within the volume itself, when it comes to one of the pages, we do get a change for the arrival of Class 1A at the time, and how we get a new page of it where it's expanded to include more characters coming out of the portal, as well as more characters coming out of the portals above them. So that is also another difference that was made when it comes to the actual volume release. But yeah, that's pretty much all I really want to say for this volume. There was not as much as the previous volumes, but hopefully the upcoming volume will have a lot more. And even if that's not the case, we do have the global popularity poll for My Hero Academia that is going on right now. So if you want to vote for your favorite characters, I will probably put a link to it down in the description down below if you want to support your favorite character. But yeah, that's all I really have for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Were you looking for anything in particular within the volume extras? Leave your thoughts down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this. Do all that cool jazz, and hopefully I'll be able to catch you in my next video. Goodbye!